Hey guys, good morning. I hope you all have had a great start to your day and you've had your breakfast and you're ready to go. So I'm going to be waiting a little bit for more people to join in. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to be talking about what we're doing here. I'm going to try and speak a little bit more slowly today, so hopefully more people can understand me. If you feel like I'm going too fast, let me know and I will try to slow down a little bit more, okay? So hey, thank you guys for joining me, Nasr and Shuka Latifi and Zahra. It's very nice to see you guys. Good morning to everyone. Um, so this is going to be session 2 of common expressions. We're going to be continuing what we did from last session. I'm going to do A to Z of common expressions we use in the English language. Hey Mustafa, hey Reza, good to see you guys. Good morning. We're going to continue doing what we did from our last session. Some of you guys asked me about the videos from last session. I'm trying to post it on IGTV, but so far I've had some technical difficulties because it's giving me some errors and it's making it a little bit harder to upload, but I'm working on that for you guys. Also, they are going to be posted on YouTube, okay? So once they're posted on YouTube, I will also give you guys the links. And hopefully that will make it easier for you guys to go back and take a look at it. For those of you who missed the last session, we talked about common expressions for apologizing, for asking after somebody's health or life, for asking for help, and we also did one more. I don't remember right now. But you guys can find that video later when it's posted on YouTube. And hopefully I will be able to post it on Instagram TV so you guys can just access it on Instagram as well. Thank you guys for joining me. For those of you who just came in, good morning to all of you. Hi, Kafkas. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. I'm going to get started in just a little bit. I hope you guys have had a good morning so far. I'm waiting a little bit for more people to join. Hey, Qiyasi, good to see you, man. Thanks for joining. It's really nice of you guys to join me today. It looks like it's going to be a nice day. It's really nice and sunny. Unfortunately, we can't go out though. Hi, Parsi 55555. And Vahid, good to see you. Thank you for joining me, guys. Okay, so today we are going to talk about some common expressions that we can use. We're going to start today with some common expressions for asking for information. And that's what we're going to start with, and then depending on how fast we move through these, we're going to keep on going. Like I said before, I'm going to do these A to Z so that we cover a whole different range of topics, okay? And hey, so good to see you again. Thank you for joining. I'm going to get started on that. As with last session, guys, like I said at the beginning, I'm going to try to speak a little bit more slowly today. As with last session, I'm going to turn off comments while I'm teaching, and then after each section, I'm going to turn on comments again so you guys can ask me questions if you have any. So please write down your questions so you don't forget, and ask them for me when I turn on comments again. If you have a notebook, it's a really good idea to take notes. If you want to take notes later, like you can come back and watch the video later and take notes. Honey, what do you want me to write? Oh, the things I'm saying. Oh, that would take way too long. I will just try to speak a little bit slow, and hopefully it'll help you understand it. So if you do have a notebook, I'm going to talk about some expressions, and you guys can write it. If you want to take notes later, this video is going to be available for 24 hours in the Instagram story section, and then I'm hopefully going to be able to upload it to IGTV, and it will also be available on YouTube. Shuka Latifi, you're at work, really? Oh man, that sucks. You're supposed to be at home in a quarantine, so well, I hope you can pay attention, but get to your work and just watch the video after your work, okay? All right, guys, so I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna turn off comments for now. Thank you guys for joining me. Hope you enjoyed this session, and if you have any questions, please let me know after this. I will answer all your questions. So turning off comments for now. All right. We're going to start the first part of this session by talking about some expressions we can use to ask for information. Now, sometimes when you want to ask somebody for information in English, it is considered, it's not very polite to just ask directly. So you have to use some expressions so you don't come across as impolite, okay? That's why these phrases I'm talking about, you can always ask a direct question, but it's more polite to ask it indirectly, okay? So the first phrase that is very commonly used in the English language is, can you tell me? Can you tell me? And then something that comes after it. So for example, if you are visiting another country and you want to know where something is, you can ask, can you tell me where the museum is? Can you tell me where I can find a restaurant? Okay, so instead of just asking, directly asking, if you use this phrase, it is more polite. You can use this kind of phrase just to ask questions from strangers, or you can use it at work. The next phrase is actually very similar to this one. It is considered to be more polite in the English language. Whenever we use can, if we change it to could, then our question becomes more polite, okay? So instead of saying, can you tell me, we can say, could you tell me? So, in the same scenario where we are visiting another country, we could say, could you tell me where the museum is? Could you tell me what time it is? Okay? So, this is a more polite way than just saying, can you tell me? Both of them are okay to ask. If you want to be formal or if you want to be polite, it's better to use could than can, but can is okay, if you're with your friends or if you are with your family, you can just use can you tell me. The next expression we're going to talk about is I'd like to know. I would like to know. I'd like to know. This is a very good phrase when we just want to ask for some specific information. For example, if you are in an airport and you go to the information desk, you can use this phrase to ask your question. I'd like to know what time my flight is leaving. I'd like to know what gate I'm supposed to go to. So this kind of expression is commonly used to inquire, to ask about something you want to know. And it's a polite way of asking. Instead of just going up to somebody and saying, when's my flight leaving? You say, I'd like to know when my flight is leaving, okay? So you can use this to ask strangers for information. You can use this to ask just if you call like a help desk, or if you're in an airport or a shopping mall, you can ask for information like this. Now, a more informal, casual way of asking the same question is, do you know? Now, this is informal. You usually use this kind of language with your friends. For example, do you know what time the show is going to start? Pay attention to how I'm saying this. I'm not saying do you know, because we're in speaking, a lot of times we connect these informal phrases. I'm connecting the D to you. So, do you know? Do you know? Do you know? If you want to write this, it's D apostrophe U, okay? D apostrophe Y-O-U. So when it's appropriate to use this phrase is usually when you're in a casual or informal setting. So for example, if you're with your friends and you're just chatting about something, and maybe you and your friends are planning to go see a movie and you want to ask your friend, what time does the movie start? Do you know what time the movie starts? Do you know what time the movie starts? So this is more informal than I'd like to know. Because it is informal, it could be considered a little bit impolite if you are in a very formal setting, okay? Now, the next phrase we're going to talk about, the next expression, uses the words any idea, and this is a sort of informal way of asking. It can be used in your everyday conversation to just talk about information in general. So the way you use this in a sentence is, have you got any idea? Or, do you have any idea? Or, you got any idea? As you can see, there's a lot of different ways we can use this expression. So we can say, you got any idea? Do you have any idea? Have you got any idea? When we use this expression, it's a very informal way of asking for information. For example, using the same scenario as last time, do you have any idea what time the movie starts? Do you have any idea what time the movie starts? You got any idea where McDonald's is? You got any idea where McDonald's is? Do you have any idea where a park is? Okay, so these are very common questions you could ask if you're visiting another country. If you're talking to your friends, a lot of times when you're discussing things with friends, this language of do you know and do you have any idea is very useful in a friendly conversation. It's very useful when you're in a discussion or anything like that, okay? Now, the next expression we are going to talk about is, could anyone tell me? Could anyone tell me? This is a polite way of asking for information from like a general public sort of thing. For example, if you are in a room with a group of people and you want to know something, you can use this expression. Could anyone tell me how long we're going to be here for? You know, if you're in a classroom, for example, you can ask your classmates, could anyone tell me what time the professor arrives? Okay, this is a polite way of asking a question. You can use this language in a formal setting or in an informal setting, okay? The next expression is, do you happen to know? Do you happen to know is very similar to, do you have any idea? Okay? So do you happen to know and do you have any idea are very close. They're both kind of informal. They're not implied to ask, but a little bit less formal, okay? So do you happen to know what time the movie starts? Do you happen to know where I can buy some clothing? Do you happen to know which way the park is? Okay? So this kind of question, this kind of phrase, you can use it anywhere you use do you have any idea? You can also, if you want to be more polite, instead of saying do, you can say would. Would you happen to know? So because we're using would, the question becomes polite or more formal. So would you happen to know where I can go to fill up on gas? Okay. All right. The next expression is, I wonder if you could tell me. I wonder if you could tell me. Now, this is a very formal way of asking for information. So if you are at your job, or if you're talking to your boss, or if you're talking to some of your coworkers, in a formal setting, you would use this expression to ask questions. I wonder if you could tell me what time the meeting starts. I wonder if you could tell me when we have a vacation time. Very formal sort of way of asking questions. And there's another formal way of asking is, I wonder if someone could tell me. So if you're in a professional setting or if you're in a formal setting and you want some information, you can ask a group of people. I wonder if someone could tell me where the bathroom is. I wonder if someone could tell me when the seminar will start. Both of these expressions are formal expressions. All of the expressions we talked about, they ask questions indirectly, and because of this, then the listener, the person we are asking, can say, sorry, I don't know. It makes it easier for them to say this, okay? You don't put them in a difficult spot. You don't put pressure on them. You give them the option to just say, sorry, I don't know, okay? So this is good. This is why it's more polite to ask a question like this, because we don't want people to feel bad if they don't know something, okay? All right, I'm going to open comments and you guys can go ahead and ask me any questions you might have. So we just covered a couple of expressions we can use to ask for information. As I said, it is considered, well, I wouldn't say impolite, but it is less polite to just ask a question directly from somebody. So just going up to somebody and saying, what's the time, is less polite than asking them, could you tell me what time it is? Or asking them, do you have any idea what time it is? Okay. Hey, Nagin, no problem. I hope it's helping you because, I'm trying to speak slower. Hey, Dandies, nice of you to join us. Thank you for joining us. Good morning to you. We are covering some common English expressions. We just did some expressions for asking for information. If you guys have any questions, you can go ahead and put them in chat. If not, we are going to start talking about some expressions we can use to ask people to wait. These expressions are very useful because sometimes you're really busy and you want to let somebody know, that you can't talk to them right now, and you want to ask them to wait. Hey, SS Original Gmail. No problem. I'm really happy to hear that you find it to be useful. And hi, Abbas Zadeh. Thank you for joining us. Good morning. So if there are no questions, I'm going to continue and we're going to talk about expressions on how to ask people to wait, okay? So I'm going to turn off comments for now. If you have any questions, please write them down. And after I turn on the comments again, you can ask me. Hi, Mariam. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Hey, Atina. Okay, I'm going to turn off comments. All right, so sometimes we are busy, we are doing something, and we want to ask somebody to wait. You know, somebody wants us to do something else, and we want to ask them to wait. These phrases are used because we want to ask them politely to wait for us to finish, okay? So the first phrase or expression is hang on a moment. Hang on a moment. This expression, you can use it anytime. It is mostly considered to be informal, but it is polite, okay? Informal but polite. It is not impolite to say hang on a moment. So for example, if you are on the phone with your friend and somebody rings the doorbell, knocks on the door, you tell your friend, hang on a moment, I need to answer the door, okay? So you ask them to wait. If you want to ask them to wait for a shorter amount of time, you can say, give me a second. This is our second expression. Give me a second. So when I say give me a second, it doesn't mean just 1 second. I'm saying a short amount of time, okay? Give me a second or give me a minute. So in a scenario, this where you are, for example, doing something on your computer and your phone rings. You answer the phone, you say, give me a second to finish up, okay? So give me a second to finish up. And then you finish your work and go on your phone, okay? This is the sort of situation you can use it in. You can also, instead of saying a moment or a second, you can use half a moment or half a second or half a minute. This is our third expression, is just modifying these first two. When we say half a moment, you know, we're saying a short amount of time. We're just saying, I'll be done quickly. Please wait a little bit. You can also use this expression by itself. You can say, I need half a moment. I need half a moment. So please wait half a moment, a short amount of time for me to finish, okay? So the first two expressions, we can also use it with half a moment. We can say, hang on half a moment, or give me half a moment, or give me half a second, okay? All three of these are considered to be polite, but they are quite informal, okay? The next expression is, I'll be right with you. This is very useful if you work in a customer service situation, okay? Or if you have like a store. If you have a bunch of customers waiting, you say, I'll be right with you. Let me finish with this customer. So very useful expression when you have several people waiting for you. So you say, I'll be right with you. Let me just finish whatever you're doing, okay? You can also use this just in a casual setting. It is a very, although it's more formal and polite, you can use it casually. So for example, if your spouse, if your wife or husband asks you for help, you can say, I'll be right with you. Let me finish, writing this. Let me finish what I'm doing, okay? And the next expression we can use to ask people to wait is, sorry, I'm a bit tied up right now. sorry, I'm a bit tied up right now. What we're doing when we're using this expression is we're letting the other person know we are busy right now, but at the same time we're saying, wait 1 minute, I'm busy right now. When I'm done, I can get to you. So for example, somebody comes up to you to ask you for something. They say, hey, can you help me? You say, sorry, I'm a bit tied up right now. Okay? You're letting them know, I'm doing something. It is a very polite way of saying, instead of saying, I don't have time for you, you say, sorry, I'm a bit tied up right now. It is a very polite way to ask somebody to wait for you because you're busy. There is another way of telling somebody to wait. It is kind of when we're trying to surprise somebody with something, we tell them to wait and see. Wait and see. So, for example, like your parents tell you, hey, when are you coming to visit us? You tell them, wait and see. You say, we'll have to wait and see. Now, you can say this because you want to surprise them. You want to show up at their door and surprise them. Or because you don't know yet. So you say, you have to wait until we find out. Both of these situations work, okay? So when we use wait and see, we are either trying to surprise somebody or we actually need some time to wait and find something out, okay? The next expression is similar, kind of similar to this. It's you'll just have to be patient. This could be a little bit less polite to say to somebody, because it implies that the person is being impatient, that they are hurrying, they're trying to hurry. So when you say this to somebody, for example, if you are in a waiting room and somebody comes to you and says, I've been waiting for 2 hours. When is it going to be my turn? And you say, you'll just have to be patient. It's kind of suggesting that they're not being patient. So it's a little bit less polite, but sometimes you need to use this kind of language. So this usually, the parents use this with their children. So usually kids say, are we there yet? You're going on a trip and every 5 minutes they ask you, are we there yet? You can say, you'll just have to be patient. Or is food ready yet? You say, you'll just have to be patient. This next expression is also considered to be a little bit less polite. It's give me a chance. Give me a chance. So this is also used when you think somebody is being impatient. They are in a hurry. So, for example, somebody keeps on coming to talk to you and they say, when are you going to finish your work, whatever you're doing? Or you're supposed to do something for somebody. When are you going to finish this? You're going to say, give me a chance. Give me a chance to work on it, okay? It implies that the person is being in a hurry. It's not as polite to say, but sometimes you need to say this because sometimes you need to tell the person, they are in a hurry. Okay? So, and the even more impolite way of saying it is don't be so impatient. This is a direct way of saying somebody is being impatient. And it's impolite because you're directly saying it. The other two we talked about, you'll just have to be patient and give me a chance, are more polite because you're not directly saying somebody is in a hurry. But if you say don't be so impatient, you're directly saying it and it's impolite. It's considered to be impolite to do this. But again, sometimes you have to criticize people for being in a hurry. So sometimes you have to use this kind of language. For example, if you are waiting in a line with your friend, and your friend is constantly complaining, they're like, oh, this line is so long. When are we going to get to the beginning of the line? You can say, don't be so impatient. Everybody is waiting in the same line. Okay? So that's an example of where you can use this. The last expression I want to talk about is we wish to apologize for the delay to something. So we wish to apologize for the delay. This is a very formal way of announcing something. So if you guys have been to airports in English-speaking countries, you would have heard something like this. If there's a flight delayed, usually they say, we wish to apologize for the delay to your flight. Okay? It is a very formal way of apologizing for making somebody wait. You can use this in a work environment or in a formal environment, usually when you are at fault for making somebody wait too long. You can use this kind of language. You can even use it with I. So I wish to apologize for the delay I've caused you. Okay? Very formal way, very polite way of saying it. It is usually used in a business setting, okay? Usually when you are apologizing to somebody in your business, like your business partner or your coworker or your boss, you can use this expression. So I wish to apologize for the delay, or we wish to apologize for the delay. When we use we are talking about a company, obviously, okay? All right, guys, I'm going to turn on the comments. If you guys have any questions, you can go ahead and ask me right now. I hope you guys are finding these sessions to be useful. Thank you for those of you who have joined us, just joined us. Good morning to you, and I hope you guys are having a good day. Hi, Parsimark, I think. Sorry if I say your name wrong. Sorry, Megan, bit up. I'm not sure what you're asking. Like I said before, I'm going to try and post all of these videos on IGTV, and they are also going to be on YouTube. So if you missed last session, hopefully you will be able to see it soon. And oh yeah, I will save the live for sure, Amy Atlas. Don't worry. Oh yes, when you say something like bid up is kind of like we're out of time. Yeah, Megan do. Hey, Nazi, thank you for joining us. Good to see you. Can you please introduce the reference? I'm not exactly sure what you mean, Mojtaba. I'm talking about, right now, what we're doing, Mojtaba, is we're talking about common expressions used in the English language. And it is, I'm just going from A to Z. So I'm going from the topics that start with A, and I'm going to work my way down to Z. And I'm going to give you at least 10 expressions to use for each topic. And I'm going to give you some examples as well on how to use them, okay? I'm glad you're learning new things, Dandies. Can you tell me? Yeah, you need to add a little bit, one more thing to that, Zahra. You have to say, sorry, I'm a bit tied up right now. Don't forget the up, okay? I'm a bit tied up right now. It means I'm busy right now, okay? The YouTube, it'll be on Mojtaba, will be on the English Turbo YouTube. I will ask them for the channel name and give it to you next session, because honestly, I don't know. I'm sure if you search English Turbo on YouTube, you can find a channel, but I will ask them and get you a link for next session, okay? I will also make a post about it when the videos go on YouTube and let you guys know that way so that you guys can find the videos easily, okay? All right, so I'm going to talk about some expressions we can use for asking somebody's opinion about something. So sometimes we want to know what somebody feels or thinks about something else before you tell them, how you feel. Sometimes we just like to learn about other people, and these expressions are very good for doing just that, okay? So I'm going to turn off the comments. Thank you for you guys for joining me, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please stick around, and we're going to go through some useful expressions for asking opinions. I'm turning off comments. If you have questions, please write them down and ask me afterwards, okay? So, when we want to ask somebody's opinion, what that means is we want to know how they feel or what they think about something, okay? And it's a good idea sometimes to ask for someone's opinion before you say how you feel about something, because we don't want people to we don't want to disagree with people usually, okay? All right, so these expressions are the beginning, just like asking for information. These expressions are used for asking questions, okay? Usually they are followed by a noun or a gerund. A gerund is the ing form of a verb, okay? So I'm going to give you examples, don't worry. I'm just saying this at the beginning so you guys can keep it in mind, okay? So the first expression is, and this is very commonly used, what do you think of something? What do you think of something? It is very close to our expression number 2. What do you think about something? Okay, so the way we use these expressions, they're both they can be used in formal and informal settings, so casual and formal. And what we're doing when we're saying what do you think of or what do you think about is we're asking somebody's opinion it's a very general phrase. So for example, if we just met somebody new and we ask our friend, what do you think of Tom? Tom is the person we just met. What do you think of Tom? So when I ask this question, I'm asking, what is your opinion about Tom? Do you think he's a nice guy? Do you think he's a jerk? Okay. What do you think about? So if I ask you, for example, what do you think about going on vacation next week? I'm asking you, how do you feel if we go on vacation next week? Okay. So both of these questions are very similarly used. It depends on your sentence structure, which one you should use. What do you think about Chinese food? Do you like Chinese food or do you not like Chinese food? Okay. And the next expression is specifically asking for how somebody feels. This is more informal than what do you think of or what do you think about. This expression is, how do you feel about? How do you feel about? Or how do you feel just by itself? Pay attention to how I pronounce this. Again, because it is informal, we connect the do to you and we just say do you, do you. How do you feel about? Another informal way of asking someone's opinion is, what do you reckon? What do you reckon? What do you reckon is a synonym for think about, but it is an informal synonym, okay? So both of these expressions are informal. We can use them with about or without about. We don't need about necessarily. and we can use you can use them with a noun or a gerund. So, for example, how do you feel about having a class outside in the garden? How do you feel about having a class outside in the garden? What do you reckon about going to the movie? What do you reckon about inviting our friends over? Okay, so whenever we say this word reckon, it is synonymous with think. It means the same thing as think. So what do you reckon is the same as saying what do you think? Okay, it's just more informal. We can use this when we're talking to our friends, when we just want to ask them their opinion about something. How do you feel about that guy Tom? What do you reckon we ask Tom to come over? Okay? And the next expression we can use to ask someone's opinion is, what's your opinion of? Very easy, right? You guys already knew this one. What's your opinion of something? Okay? So, what's your opinion of that movie we just watched? This expression is a little bit more formal than the last ones we talked about. Do you reckon and do you feel about? What's your opinion is, it's middle ground. It's not very formal. It's not very informal. You're just asking somebody's opinion. It's a very simple way of asking somebody's opinion. So, what is your opinion about this movie we just watched? What is your opinion of Tom, who we just met? Okay? And this next expression is very commonly used in the English language. It is usually paired with another sentence, and here's how it goes. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? Now, when I say it is usually paired with another sentence, is usually there's another sentence that comes before this. So, for example, we say, they're going to build a new supermarket here. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? Or, hey, Tom and I are coming over there next week. What do you think about that? Okay, so whenever we say something, we make a statement, we make a sentence, and we want to ask somebody's opinion about it, we say, what do you think about that? Okay? All right. The next expression is a pretty common one in an informal setting usually. It is similar to what is your opinion? This one is, what are your views on? It is more commonly used than what is your opinion because usually we talk about people's viewpoints. So what are your views on? You can talk about any topic. For example, if you want to talk about a political topic, you can say, what are your views on Trump, Donald Trump? You want to talk about, some kind of movie. What are your views on comedy movies? Okay? So it's a very good way of asking in a formal setting or informal setting. It is more commonly used than what is your opinion. Usually in English, we use this, what is your view? What are your views? Okay? And usually when we ask for somebody's views, we try not to ask anything too personal. Okay? If you don't know a person very well, you shouldn't ask them very personal questions. Okay? Personal questions are like about their close relationships, about their political views sometimes are considered to be personal, about the religious views, these kind of things, be careful of them, okay? The next expression is, where do you stand on? Again, this is more formal. This is used in a very business setting. For example, if you're sitting in a meeting room and you're talking about some business action you're going to take. So where do you stand on the merger? Where do you stand on the next year's sales? Okay, something like this. So when you want to ask somebody's opinion formally, in a formal setting, you can use this. You also hear this on the news. Sometimes when somebody's being interviewed, the interviewer asks them, where do you stand on this topic? Where do you stand on civil rights? Where do you stand on women's rights? Things like this, okay? A very formal way of asking someone's opinion. You can use this at work, or you can just use it in a casual conversation where you're using a more polite language. You want to use more formal language, okay? Then we have our next phrase, which we ask for people's opinion about a certain idea, okay? This is kind of similar to what do you think about that, where we had a statement and then we had what do you think about that. In this one, we say, what would you say to something, okay? So for example, what would you say to going for a run? We want to know what their opinion is about going for a run. What would you say to Chinese food? We want to know if they want to go for Chinese food. We can also use what would you say if the difference between using to instead of using to using if the is we have to use a past verb if you use if the. For example, what would you say if we went for a run? So instead of saying what would you say to going for a run, we say what would you say if we went for a run, okay? Or what would you say if we had Chinese food, okay? This is a really good way of asking somebody's opinion on a very specific, decision you want to make. If you want to ask them if they want to do something, so what would you say to watching a movie? What would you say if we watched a movie? Okay, pay attention. If you use if we, make sure you use a past tense verb. Okay, and if you just use to, use a gerund, use an ing form of a verb, okay? And the last expression I want to talk to you guys about is, are you aware of? Are you aware of? This is a very indirect way of asking for someone's opinion, because we're not actually saying what is your opinion or what is your view. We are just asking if they know about the situation. For example, are you aware of the coronavirus? Are you aware of this new Chinese restaurant? So this, usually when we ask this question, we are expecting them to answer with their opinion as well, right? So you ask me, are you aware of the coronavirus? I say, yeah, I read about it on the news. It's terrible. Okay? Or, are you aware of the new restaurant that just opened? No, I hadn't been there before. We should go. Okay, so I'm giving my opinion as well as saying if I knew about it or not. Okay, so these expressions, you can use them to ask for someone's opinion. They're a very good way of getting to know people. If you just met somebody and you want to get to know what they think about different things, you can use these expressions. They are good for using them at work if you want to see how your coworkers feel about doing something. So they're really good expressions to use in your everyday life. I suggest practice using them and see how many different ones you can come up with. All right, guys, I'm going to open up comments. And if you guys have any questions, please go ahead and ask them. I hope you guys found today's session to be useful. We covered asking about somebody's opinion, asking people to wait, and asking for information. As you might have noticed, a lot of our topics right now start with A because we're starting at A. So, there's a lot of asking topics. Hi, Mina. So that's why, but I promise you we're going to get further on into other topics as well. If you are just joining us and you missed the session, don't worry. I'm going to put the live on Instagram for 24 hours in my story. And I'm also going to try and upload it to IGTV. These videos are also going to get uploaded on YouTube for English Turbo on their YouTube channel, which I don't know what it is right now, but I will ask and I will let you guys know next session. Mojtaba, maybe I'll do that. I'll see if any of the other teachers are available, and maybe we can have some back and forth conversations, and hopefully that'll help. I tried to speak slower today. I hope that helped you guys. Reckon? Good question, Negin. So when we use reckon instead of think, if you want to write reckon, it's R E C K O N. Okay. So if you want to use reckon, you can use it instead of think. It's more informal. Usually we say, do you reckon? Okay, it's, what are you reckoning? It's a very informal way of saying think, but hey, you can use it in a very casual conversation. It makes you sound very native-like when you use this casual language. Can you end this lesson in your post, please? I will, Danny's, when the videos get posted, I will make a post about them so you guys know about it and you guys can go check it out, okay? I asked them to let me know. How can we improve our English more? You guys, English is just like anything else. You need to practice, try to speak, try to write, try to read, try to listen as much as you can. I know you're living in a country where you don't speak English a lot, you don't hear it a lot, but there's a lot of resources available for practicing. There are a lot of applications you can download on your phone, for example, you can use. You guys can use each other to practice, talk to other students who are learning English. Just try to listen and watch English movies or podcasts, and all of these things will help you improve. Thank you very much, Negin. That is very kind of you to say. So if you guys don't have any more questions, I'm going to end the session for today. Please join me tomorrow at the same time. I'm going to continue doing these useful expressions. Please check out the other teachers for English Turbo. They're all doing some live sessions for free. They're teaching English at different levels. Go ahead and check them out. They're all really good. I believe the next one is going to be MG at 1 o'clock, and he is going to go live on the English Turbo channel. If you don't follow that already, go ahead and throw him a follow. Thank you guys for joining me this morning. I'm really happy that I can do this for you guys. I really appreciate your positive feedback. It makes me feel really good. I would love for you guys to join me every morning for these sessions. Please introduce some apps or podcasts. For podcasts, what I listen to, Zahra, the application I use is called TuneIn, but I believe in Iran it might be blocked. I will look into some good apps for finding podcasts. A really good app for learning new words is called Word Up, so you should check that out. There was also an application you can make calls to people who are learning English, so you can practice English. Yeah, God love IMK. 1 minute, let me type it. You can also find all their IDs in my highlights, God love IMK. So take a look at my page on my highlights. All the IDs are posted. I believe it is at English. I don't know if it's .turbo, but I think it is .turbo. If the .turbo doesn't work, do it without turbo. So I think it's at English.turbo or at English Turbo. Check it in my highlights. In my highlights, it's right. What time do I start my live? I start lives during the quarantine right now at 11 a.m. every day. So I start my lives then. I'm going to look into more applications and things like that. I will maybe make some posts about it so you guys can find it there, okay? So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. Practice your English as much as you can. If you have any questions, let me know. If you're just joining in, I'm ending the live, but you can find the video in a little bit on my page, okay? See you guys later. Have a good day.